Hello and welcome back to another installment of Poke Fodder. So I know that previously I have said that the Shuppet wall, the Shuppet trap doesn't work. And I'm going to amend that just a little bit. The reason why I titled this video something to do, I don't know exactly what I'm going to title it, but it's something to do with going back old school, original OG, something like that. I'll come up with something creative between when I'm recording this and when I actually do the thumbnail, and you already know what I chose. But the reason why is because Listener, who is ranked really high right now, if we go and look, we will see that he is actually number one. But Listener kind of put together an old school deck. This is not an exact replica of his. He actually uses, sorry about that. He actually uses Suicune for where I have Cobalion. But, and it's funny that the two Pokemon that I hate saying their names the most are the two that I'm discussing right now. But he uses Suicune where I have Cobalion because it has the purple, which kills or knocks out your opponent and can potentially eliminate your opponent from the match. It also has an ice passive where if it gets knocked out and rolls its ice, then it freezes the opponent. I have Suicune. I'm not a huge fan of the wheel. It does have some really nice aspects to it, but it's not my favorite Pokemon. Other than that, this is the same deck that he runs. And we're just going to jump into League play, and I will kind of go over how this works. And if I don't face a Deoxys deck, then the Phantom Energy plate is going to go for naught. But the important thing to remember is that you're not, I'm seeing less and less Deoxys, but this deck can cover a wide range of opponents and isn't built specifically to cover Deoxys, but it still has the Phantom Energy element to be able to counter Deoxys. And Phantom Energy has been around for a while now. At least a month, if not more. So what we're going to do is we're going to open with the standard Shuppet cheese. But where this deck, let me see what all he has going on here. Okay. We're going to drop Tracheon here. What this deck is going to do is it's going to force your opponent into making potentially very difficult decisions. Okay, so that's a good matchup for him. So now I'm going to drop Shuppet here, which means he doesn't want to pull up either one of his Pokemon. But what I'm going to do is now I've got Virizion on the corner. So now he has to make the decision, and he wants to do nothing. So we're going to go after here and go after Grovyle. And that completely did not work. Like, that could not have worked less than what it just did. Pretty funny, actually. So what we're going to do is bring Cobalion over here. Then we'll bring our Sceptile around. It's pretty funny, actually. I'm not going to lie. I found that rather humorous that the Typhoon / cheese didn't work, and not only did it not work, my homeboy just got completely knocked out. But we are not going to be deterred. So we will bring out Virizion. We'll see what he wants to do this time. All right, so let's go for this again. We're looking for Typhoon Slash. Again with the Grass Knot. There are very few situations in life where I want Grass Knot. And one of them would be against Sceptile rolling twice. His 100 twice. He's been evolved. Okay. So I kind of have this rule that if you can't knock a Pokemon out in 2 tries, you should give up and go try something else. Now I need to figure out what it is I want to go try. And let's see what happens here. And then he gets his Typhoon Slash on try 1, which is probably not what he wants. I don't see him. He's going to go for Grass Knot. Yeah. Actually, no, he was going for his 100. I didn't spin that twice, did I? So this creates the easy surround. And I'm not good with Shuppet. I will say Shuppet's kind of like Deoxys for me. I don't use them enough to be good with them. And so a lot of times I will miss plays that Shuppet creates. And and for the plates, Swap Spot, Phantom Energy, Gold Block. Oh, that was actually pretty nice. There's nowhere I really want to go. So we're going to provide the protection for Sceptile. Now he can't be knocked out by a gold attack, although he can get Thunder Charged. Let's try this one more time. Now maybe some time has passed. Maybe I won't roll Grass Knot, and I didn't, but he still rolled his blue. Let's see, if he wants to just keep rolling blue, let's see if this works. And it did. So now I will take Trachian. I still can't lose to a gold attack. So there's not a lot of threat there. We'll go ahead and attack here, just because he has such a huge miss. Press forward. We'll press forward with Mew. Come up here with Shuppet. I mean, I've got him covered on chain levels, so I think that was a good trade. I will probably just attack with Trachian because Greninja has such a large miss section again. That is, you know, every Pokemon has a trade-off. You know, they can't all be super. And Trachian's is he rolls his blue a significant amount. So unless something wild and crazy happens here. This should be game. Oh, and actually he rolled into the miss. So that is going to be the victory for us. And I know that, well, Phantom Energy never came into play, and the sole purpose, and my opponent's going to rage quit, but the sole purpose of the Phantom Energy is for Deoxys protection. But let's face it, the majority, when people run Tropical, yeah, it's a full heal, and it'll remove status effects. But the main reason people are running Tropical Energy is so that Deoxys can't respin. And the main reason why people ran Metagross was so that Deoxys A and Reuniclus could not respin. So to think, well, I don't want to do this and it's a wasted plate. Before we were using kind of a wasted Pokemon for countering, and then with the Tropical Energy, a useful plate, but you know, that was the main reason. Phantom Energy also leaves you with, if you're Shuppet in this case, but if you're Ghost type, can come off the bench if a Pokemon on one of the entry points has a status, then he can come out onto the bench, off of the bench. So that's a nice little added bonus if your entry points are covered, but say, you know, I don't even know what Pokemon I have here that leaves status, nothing, but mine are paralyzed. So if one of them were sitting on an entry point, I believe Shuppet would be able to enter, similar to how Jolteon enters when a Pokemon on the entry point is paralyzed. So it does have an added benefit. It's not solely a Deoxys counter, and if you don't have it, then nothing. But if you do run into a Deoxys deck, it is nice to have that added protection. We will, let's go see what we get out of our daily mission here. And I don't know if it's just my game or if it's everybody's game, but like, it's running really slow for me lately. Let's see what we pick up here. Okay, so we get 10 more gems. And we are going to jump into one more. Maybe we'll come across a Deoxys deck. If not, maybe the opening will work a little bit better than it did that time, because, yeah, it did not work at all, actually. One of the advantages, if you are going to use a deck similar to this, and if you want to use Suicune, one of the advantages is if you put Suicune on one of those corner, I call them bedposts, on the inner corners, and he gets knocked out but freezes the opponent, if you have the max revive, you can bring him right back out, attack the frozen Pokemon. If you land your purple, it does banish them from the game. I've had that happen once. I don't know how many times I've played the deck with Suicune in there. It's not going to happen often, but when it happens, you know, having a 4 versus 3 advantage mid and late game is really nice. So we are going to go up against kind of a standard tropical deck here. Nothing too fancy. The 3 legendary birds. So a nice little build. Nothing wrong with this deck. And of course, we will roll Mr. Shuppet out into the middle. One of the weaknesses to this deck is when you get to the late game, if you're running 4-on-3, or if you're running 4-on-4, and one of your 4 is Shuppet, it's not going to help you out just a whole lot. You might get the occasional burn, which is useful, but for the most part, you're going to just be recycling him out. And There, that worked out. For the most part, you're just going to try to recycle them out, but if you're in danger of having your entry points covered, Shuppet actually becomes kind of a liability at that point. Just something to keep in mind. If he moves Magikarp over, and I really don't suspect he will, we will definitely go for the Typhoon/Win. Okay, yeah, I did not suspect that he would do anything of the sort. So now we are going to take Mew. Down there. He's got all of his Pokemon bunched up. We will take Cobaline and close off that. We definitely have the better board advantage at the moment. Okay. Well, that worked out really nice. Oh, we will take that and threaten his goal. My guess is he's going to goal block either with Moltres or Sceptile. He's not going to move just Magikarp over. Okay. What we're going to do is, I don't know what we're going to do here. We will actually move him over. I didn't attack Magikarp there because if I got Typhoon Slash, that would be bad because then his Moltres could surround. Okay, well if we survive this, and we do, that works out rather nicely. And then we're going to seal off the entry, unless he drops Mew back. He doesn't have long throw, I don't think. This is an interesting. Oh, and we rolled the miss. Wow. That was unfortunate. He's now going to be able to bring both of his Articuno and Zapdos back out on the field. Nothing I can do about that. Yep, nothing. We'll keep him from hopping over. I've really got him pinned in here, and I definitely need to make plays such that I don't let him out. So there's no need to attack here. If he moves his Zapdos, I'm definitely going to sacrifice my Shuppet to take out Articuno. Come on, blue. No. That was not even remotely close to the type of scenario I was looking for. I do have my Max Revive, and I will be utilizing that here as soon as I find an opportunity where I feel like it's beneficial. I'd like to maintain control over his entry points. Goodness gracious, what is going on right now? Well, goodness gracious. I don't know what we're going to do here. See if we can not get knocked out. I'll probably go and attack Shuppet, be my guess. Did not want to attack Shuppet. You know what, I made a misplay. I should have, instead of attacking Articuno, I should have surrounded him with Shuppet and taken him out. That would have been the better play. That would have definitely been the better play. Definitely would have been the better play. If Shuppet can just not die here, okay, we are going to get rid of, come on, Zapdos. It's a great dodge. Now we are going to, we're actually going to do Swap Spot, but not for Shuppet's benefit. And we're going to bring him back because I don't really like Sceptile standing on my doorstep here. Very, very sad about how this is kind of turned around. I had really good positioning and just in like 2 moves I didn't have good positioning anymore. So I hope I bring out Mew and stop Virizion from advancing. Interesting. See if he brings Mew out. If he does, then that opens the door for me to Typhoon Slash. Oh my gosh. No, 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 no. And I kind of made a mistake because I had plenty of opportunities and I never pulled out another Pokemon. Instead, I made kind of meaningless moves, and that's going to do it. Those were, quite honestly, that was a very poorly played game on my part. I had plenty of opportunities to max revive a Pokemon, and I did meaningless moves that added nothing to it, where I could have brought out Sceptile, and not real thrilled with that at all, actually. But it is what it is, and that's why I keep playing. It's to get better. So I know that this did not super showcase Shuppet like I had hoped. I really don't face many Deoxys decks anymore, but if you're not going to run a deck that exactly counters Deoxys, you have to run something that allows you some protection against Deoxys. And I think that's just kind of going to be the way it is. I feel like moving forward in this game that no matter what is released, if it doesn't counter Deoxys in some form or fashion, or if it can't be used in a deck that counters Deoxys, then Deoxys users will pick up on this, and as soon as players start saying, hey, these decks don't counter Deoxys, then Deoxys will continue to always make reappearance, and it's a strong deck, so there will be Deoxys decks out there anyways. But this gives you a lot of flexibility with deck build if you go something along these lines, and it's up to you. Like, there are so many counters to the Deoxys decks now that we really should be at the point where we're not complaining about how strong and overpowered Deoxys decks are. And if you come across a Deoxys user, like, it's just another deck. It's a strong deck, but there are a lot of other strong decks, and probably some that are even stronger than Deoxys decks. So there you go. I think the days of complaining about Deoxys should really be over. And I'm really disappointed that I lost that game. That was very poorly played on my part. But that's why we record, and now I can go back over and watch and see where I made my mistakes and hopefully learn from them moving forward. Sorry about no videos over the weekend. Still not happy with my mic situation. I thought I could just go to the Apple Store and buy a mic. That's not going to be the case. So I need to do a little bit of research on what I want to do for picking up a mic. But I will do something, and I hope that this mic that I'm using something different, works for today's video as a short-term solution. We should have a new gym coming up in a couple of days. Water Ground, I believe, is what it is. I'm interested to see if they change it up any from the previous, and what changes they make. So that's going to wrap it up for today's installment, and until next time.